Like, Cam was the quarterback of this era. Like, he ushered in the era of Lamar Jackson. Like, he never rushed for...
Fact check. Sean Payton was suspended for the whole 2012 season.
Wow. Honestly, I'm so used to the Saints winning, and I've totally forgot.
And Jonathan Vilma, too.
Yeah, but that was bogus. They kind of blackballed him out. Kind of felt bad for Vilma. He was good, but I mean, it's like the ref should have.
He was already getting washed.
Yeah, he was already washed at the end, but it's like, don't blame him. Blame Greg Williams.
Oh, Greg Williams caught the longest suspension.
Yeah, but now he's back.
Well, that's what happens when you can coach.
Tis true.
He had that Ravens defense playing better last year than they are this season, and they had less talent.
I just don't really care much for Greg Williams. It's kind of like, okay.
But yeah, so you said Julio Jones and who else?
Julio Jones, Calvin Johnson, Cam, Zeke. Nah, it's kind of too early for Zeke, is it?
I mean, I think if you take the whole, like, if you factor in college,
I have to throw in Zeke.
That. Yeah, if you talk about just football in general, yeah, I could give you Zeke.
He took the world by storm.
But yeah, I mean, I agree with those.
I'm sorry, but Warren Moon is better than Dan Fouts. I just had to say that.
I would say probably someone who didn't live up to what they should have this decade. I think it's kind of obviously Andrew Luck. Never got to a Super Bowl.
But you could blame the Colts for that. I blame the Colts front office for that. They didn't protect him. Anthony Costanzo was like a okay left tackle. But they never the Colts never recovered from Tarek Glenn retiring. They never have. Once Tarek Glenn retired, it was over. It was a wrap. And he's the only Cal left tackle I can think of that was a first-round pick.
When the whole framing of the situation was like, okay, Manning made 2 Super Bowls after the Colts, but at least we got Andrew Luck for 2 decades. And then it was like, nah, you actually only have him for 5 years.
Really? That's all you had him for? And you didn't appreciate him.
Yeah, so.
Who's the most overrated coach of this? You got anybody else?
Jason Garrett, obviously. I mean, he's obviously got to be the most overrated coach of the decade.
Jason Garrett, Jim Harbaugh,
Chip Kelly.
Indeed. All the UCLA football head coaches. Jim Mora, Clay Helton.
Nah, Jim Mora, in terms of UCLA, what Jim Mora did was successful.
Yeah.
I think where they messed up is
letting him go.
Got rid of him the year before, or held on to him one more year.
Yeah, I agree with that because he was beating USC's ass.
Yeah, so they kind of the timing of it was just bad. You know, I get it. They kind of felt like, oh, LA's up for the taking right now, so we got to take a risk, but. It was already risky, and then getting Chip Kelly just made it double extra risky, and so far it's like not paid off at all.
You know who else? All the Chargers coaches after Martin Schottenheimer. North Turner.
Oh, we gotta mention Ron Rivera too. I mean, what No.
You gotta count Ron Rivera, Brad Childress.
No, not Brad Childress.
That's a little bit too.
What did he do?
That was the other previous decade. Rex Ryan, definitely most overrated head coach.
Yeah, for sure. Never made a Super Bowl. But, yeah, most overrated player of the decade?
Are you ready for it?
I mean,
who are you going to say?
Obviously, I'd like to say, Gronk or Tom Brady, but you really can't. But I could give you the Mannings, both of them.
That's fair. Are you ready for mine?
What?
J.J. Watt.
Nah, he's a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year.
Overrated. And you want to know why?
You could say, but you're not saying anything about your black nerd affiliate, Von Miller.
Von Miller got them that Super Bowl. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
What are you talking about? Von Miller got them that Super Bowl, bro. And he's been nothing but Von Miller since.
He's been washed.
10 sacks a year. 10 sacks a year.
Adjacent.
Bare minimum. No.
But,
you want to know why I say J.J. Watt?
He ain't really doing it like that, though.
Because Denver's trash. And they got rid of everybody. Shaquille Barrett leads the league in sacks. It's not like he got to stay with everybody he played defense with. They traded half the roster. You want to know why I say
Dominic Sue and Gerald McCoy?
Nah, they were just victims of circumstance. I think by the way, Gerald McCoy has 6.5 sacks this year, so put some respect on his name in a 3-4 defense.
In terms of Sue did kind of shock the world, but
Sue scored a touchdown this year, bro, on defense.
No, I'm just saying in terms of these players were supposed to be players of the decade, but they were just really good.
No, they were great. They still triple teamed Sue.
They
were generational talents, is what you're saying.
They're more of a overrated than J.J. Watt.
No, because I think J.J. Watt wasn't pegged to be the second overall pick in the draft. He was just pegged to be good. He's overachieved in that regard where he got drafted, because I don't think anybody saw this coming from him. But I say he's overrated in the grand scheme of things is that he didn't elevate the defense that he played on. Some of them defenses were really sure about that. Do you want to go back and look at some of those playoff games?
Texans have had a good defense for a long time. That's because of J.J. Watt.
So no, even before when they had Mario Williams, they had a good defense. So I'm saying, yeah, he's Captain America. He's a great player. He's a future Hall of Famer. But when I think of him being the linchpin to a great defense, even when he got hurt, they had Clowney. They had Whitney Merciless. They had their two linebackers. They've played good without J.J. Watt, and he just came off IR recently. But I'm saying, as far as this decade, you look at everything he's become. It's like, okay, bro, but you didn't transcend your defense.
What was your best moment of the decade?
The Ravens getting that second Super Bowl.
The Niners and the blackout.
Yeah, because I was at work. Yeah, and them beating the Patriots in the AFC title game. I was like, good, Brady's reign is over. And then Eli beating Tom Brady. Pretty much anytime the Patriots lost, it was good. And then also, if I had to say,
what I was going to say. I would have said that was probably my moment when the Giants beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Just because, that was one of the greatest teams ever. And, no one really gave
Eli
the Giants a chance at all. And,
yeah.
What they did with David Tyree and Steve Smith, the other Steve Smith, was like crazy.
But the second Super Bowl was Mario Manningham, Victor Cruz. Yeah, that was the second Super Bowl when they had when Eli threw for almost 5,000 yards. And they had Victor Cruz, Mario Manningham. By the way, we got to do that story of Ruben Randall.
I thought David Tyree was that Super Bowl.
No, that's the first Super Bowl. The first Super Bowl was 16-0, but the second Super Bowl was like, damn, he really owns Tom Brady.
I guess I got to mix up.
Honestly, that's why
I tend to black out when the Patriots play in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I was there. I remember. I was there right with you.
No, that was the Seahawks one.
It felt like that was the Patriots one, but still, that's what I'm saying. It's like
that was a Seahawks.
Most of this decade is the Patriots winning or losing, and those were the moments for NFL at least. College is different.
But what was between the Rams having a chance being down 6 in the fourth quarter.
That was a trash Super Bowl.
The Falcons blowing a 21-point lead.
That's the biggest
or
one.
Or the Seahawks throwing a pick on the 1 yard
Seahawks
line.
will always be worse.
Because that pretty much ended their whole dynasty.
Marshawn Lynch, they purposely didn't give him the ball because they didn't want him to be the reason why that they won. They made it personal with Marshawn.
I don't think so.
Yeah, they did. If you don't give him the ball, like, it was obvious they were trying to make Russell Wilson the face of the team. Look at the play calling. The ball was in his hands. I don't understand how you have a guy average like damn near 7 yards a run, 7 yards a carry in the Super Bowl practically, and you don't give him the ball on the 1 yard line. They ain't stopped him all game. And it goes back to the U.S.
Who was coach?
I blame Darrell Bevell. I blame the offensive coordinator.
Who was
coach? Who's what?
And what similar situation does that give you PTSD to?
The USC game because Vince Young's knee was down.
That's what I'm saying.
And Reggie Bush should have been on the field.
But they didn't even play Reggie.
And they didn't play Marshawn. But my thing is that's different. That was just bad play call. No,
really not though.
Because his defense fell apart at the end. If you look at the Seahawks, defense didn't really fall apart. That's why I think.
But there's an argument to be said. The only reason why they even went to overtime was because Reggie wasn't on the field.
Well, we know that, but that's a whole different story. And I'm mad because that was Keith Jackson's last broadcasting. It was the last time he ever broadcasted. Keith Jackson retired after that USC Texas game.
I'm gonna sign off for the decade, but I really just wanted to kind of bring everything together. It's really crazy when you think about how long this podcast has been going. I really have been podcasting for the better part of a decade, like 7 years altogether now, which is really crazy and wild. You think about it, because it's always just been something that I kind of stumbled into. But yet, I keep stumbling into opportunities to do it. So it's pretty cool. And so sometimes, like I always say, sometimes when you're winning, you're really losing. So shout out to the Raiders for still having a glimmer of playoff hopes. I really don't care about the playoffs at all because what's the point of showing up if you're not going to win? Cue the play to win the game drop. But, yeah. The point is,
they took that one off.
It's not just get in, baby. It's just win, baby. So, yes, I want the Raiders to beat the Broncos, but
because the Broncos
I hope that happens. And one of the 4 things that the Raiders need don't happen, because what the Raiders don't need, what I don't need, is an ass whipping from KC or Houston on Wild Card Weekend, or another season of Derek Carr, or another season of Paul Gunther.
You're gonna get that.
I might get that anyways, but I definitely don't need a 8-8 playoff berth to be the reason why.
I think that 8-8 Hugh Jackson team is better than this team.
It's a farce. It's clouded. Honestly, I think they're pretty similar. I think that
team's better.
Talent-wise, that team was better. But I'm saying, in terms of when you look at it, how their season unfolded, it's pretty much the same.
Shout out to Dan McFadden.
But yeah, man. So it's been a crazy decade being a Raider fan. It's really just been a blur of inconsistency, rebuilds, retools,
and Khalil Mack and Charles Woodson.
And LA got flirted with for a really long time. Basically my whole life, and now we have 2 football teams. We really only kind of want half of both, so it's kind of weird. We have, yeah. So I don't really know what to say because
half the Chargers.
I'm sorry, Ramley, but I called it. I hate to say it, but last year was really your window. You needed to score in that fourth quarter because now you essentially got to pay Jalen Ramsey and Corey Littleton, and you still have Robert Woods, Brandon Cooks, who they've always been good players, great.